think there is a real risk of a military invasion. The government in Greenland had just somewhat 3 or 4 days ago had asked its citizens to prepare for military invasions. There were signs that the Arctic Angels in Alaska were preparing for military invasion of Greenland. They were asked to be stand by for a notice of 4 hours. And so I don't follow the argument that this was only for show. I think there was a real risk.
Well, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. The first question has to be, I assume, that the overwhelming feeling in Greenland at the end of this week must be one of a certain amount of relief.
Well, I think we are relieved, but then again, one never knows in these times. I think we had a roller coaster ride during the last couple of weeks. And for the time being, people are sleeping better. People are somewhat happier meeting when I meet my friends and my colleagues. Now we are more relaxed. But then again, we never know if this situation would escalate again.
No, he's certainly a mercurial and capricious character. What also occurred to me was that actually we've been stung. Denmark has been stung. Greenland has been stung. That actually he never really intended to militarily invade Greenland. This was a piece of bullying thuggery aimed at softening up the opposition and giving him, in the end, exactly what he wanted, isn't it?
Well, I'm not quite sure I would reason like that. I think there is a real risk of a military invasion. The government in Greenland had just somewhat 3 or 4 days ago had asked its citizens to prepare for military invasions. There were signs that the Arctic Angels in Alaska were preparing for military invasion of Greenland. They were asked to be stand by for a notice of 4 hours. And so I don't follow the argument that this was only for show. I think there was a real risk, and it's my opinion and the opinion of some that I trust, that I speak with, that risk still persists, and that we should be aware of the situation for a long period of time, and certainly through the year.
It's, I mean, the argument in favour of what I was saying was that Donald Trump is a businessman who uses this kind of hyperbolic technique time after time by threatening massive action and then seeing his opponents back down and then saying, oh, no, no chance of that happening, and so on. Because it hasn't effectively Donald Trump got pretty much what he wanted?
I appreciate the thought, and of course we have seen that tactic been used before, and I think it also it's in the art of the deal mentioned this structure. But then again, I speak to someone that I trust, and they are afraid that this is not so much as a part of the art of the deal, but it's more about his legacy, being the president that expanded the territory of the states. Eventually doing this before the next 4th of July, which I understand is some kind of an anniversary for the United States. So I think it's not quite sure that the normal playbook is used in this regard. And I think the Miller family advising the president certainly does seem kind of aggressive in relations to Greenland. So I'm not that certain that it's just a part of the negotiating tactics.
One of the things that impressed me, Finn, I don't know if it did you as well, was Donald Trump casting doubt on Danish legitimacy of rule in Greenland by saying it was established simply by a few boats arriving there a long time ago, which is a sort of questionable thing for a white American to say, isn't it?
Well, I would say those, I think it came with the 3 to 4 arguments. All of them has been debunked. There's no reality in those arguments. And the United States themselves has in several agreements recognized the sovereignty of Greenland, Denmark, and that organization that we have. And by treaty and agreements, United States has agreed to this. And so that argument simply does not follow through.
And can you explain to our listeners what exactly Donald Trump has got? How much latitude now does he have within Greenland? How many bases will there be? Is there a way of ensuring that they don't spread? I mean, what do we know of what he's got?
Well, right now he has pretty much unlimited access to Greenland in defense regards. The American companies also have widely access to Greenland. If you seek a license for mineral exploration, you can have it. It's just about investing. So for security purposes and business purposes, Greenland is very much open. So I think he has very, very broad access to Greenland as it is. And of course, Greenland are interested in expanding, and we give rights for more bases if that is necessary, and also for the new dome that he is planning to build. And I think the Greenlandic government, as long as with the Danish government, they would agree to grant access for new bases in new territories.
And the other point I wanted to raise, because it interests a lot of people over here, which is that Denmark has a number of great safeguarding bits of legislation to stop the despolation of Greenland and the Arctic territories. Do you worry that there might be a threat to the pristine environment of Greenland with Donald Trump?
Could you rephrase that question, please?
Yes, sorry, I will. One of the things which worries many people over here is that there may be a threat to the pristine wildness of Greenland, given that Donald Trump isn't an environmental champion. Will your environmental rules stay intact?
Well, I think we have very strict environmental laws, also to protect our main source of income, which is the fisheries, and our lands and our seas is very much used by the population for hunting and fishing. So we have very strict environmental laws on par what we see in Europe. So that would, of course, be somewhat concerning if they would seek a change in that in the negotiations that are coming now. That would be a worry if that would be one of the issues mentioned during the meetings.
And do we know what's in this new agreement? Has everything been sort of signed and sealed?
Well, I think that the talks that Rutte had with Trump, I think it was without any mandate, we need to talk to Trump ourselves, and I think Mette Frederiksen spoke with Rutte yesterday and probably got acquainted with the contents of the meeting. But for the time being, we really do not know what the demands are and in what direction these talks are leading us. But I think it's very important for my side of all these things that we don't let our guard down. I think any sign of weaknesses from Greenland, Denmark, and the NATO alliance in Europe backing off and relaxing now in this point of time would be not to our benefit, I'm afraid. So we need to remain strong and be prepared for any outcome. Otherwise, the negotiations would be very, very difficult, and the risk for annexation or invasion would increase again.
Finn, many thanks for talking. Thanks a lot. Very grateful to you.
Welcome. And thank you for your interest and your support from Europe. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you.